Hello friends, Recap Legends here. Today I am going to explain Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings in short. So friends, we have heard the name of the Ten Rings since the beginning of MCU, but the reality of the beginning of this organization has now come before us in Shang-Chi movie. In this 25th movie of MCU, we not only came to know about those magical rings but also a new superhero was entered here. The story of this film is not only good, but also full of action and adventure. If you want to understand this movie better, then keep watching this video. This is the story of the 10 rings, that is, 10 magical cycles. These rings have been in existence for thousands of years, but no one knows where it came from and whose it is. These rings have many powers and they can be used as any weapon. Apart from this, the age of the wearer also does not increase, which means, those who wears these rings, he will becomes immortal. But these rings can be used by only those person, who are very powerful and smart. About 1,000 years ago a Chinese man, named Wenwu, found it, and because Wenwu was capable to use those rings, but instead of using this power properly, he started capturing the whole world with it. Wenwu had formed his own army, which was named 10 Rings. With his help, he spread his rule over the whole world for centuries. But later his heart was filled with all this, and now he started getting interested in miracles and magical powers. So Wenwu started studying mythology. Then in 1996, he came to know about the place of Talo. Talo is another dimension, where many mysterious animals were found, and that place is also full of magical powers. Wenwu had strengthened its hold in this world and now wanted to capture Talo as well. That's why he did a lot of research on that place. Then one day, he left to go to Talo with some of his companions. But the path of Talo was passed through a magical forest, and no ordinary human could cross that forest because it was a living forest that was like a maze and used to kill anyone who went towards Talo. When Wenwu went to that forest with his companions, that forest attacked their vehicles, and killed his all companions, but Wenwu survived because of his rings. Then somehow he crosses that forest, and reaches the entrance of Talo. There he meets a woman named Yingli, who was Talo's guardian. When Wenwu tries to enter Talo, Yingli tries to stop Wenwu and starts fighting with him. Wenwu attacks on Yingli with his ring, but he was unable to beat Yingli. Because everyone living in Talo had magical powers, and also Yingli was a very powerful warrior. Not only did he give a good fight to Wenwu with his powers, but he took control of the rings and defeated Wenwu. But Yingli didn't kill him and Wenwu didn't get angry with him either. Because they both started liking each other. After this, Wenwu started visiting that forest and started spending time with Yingli. Now both of them fell in love with each other and thought of getting married. But the people of Talo did not accept this relationship. Yingli wanted him to stay in Talo with Wenwu, but the people of Talo did not allow them to come there, because of Wenwu's evilness. So Yingli left Talo and went to China with Wenwu and get married to him. Because of leaving Talo, Yingli's powers were also lost. Seeing Yingli's goodness, Wenwu stopped all his bad deeds, and took off his rings. Now the scene shift to 2000, when Wenwu's son was born, whom he named Shang-Chi, and 4 years later he also had a daughter named Xialing. Now Wenwu's life had changed, now he had become a good person and he was very happy with his family. On the other hand, the news had spread in the world that Wenwu had taken off his rings and now he does not even have any army. This made his enemies very happy and now he got the right opportunity to take revenge on Wenwu. Then in 2007, when Shang-Chi was 7 years old and his ceased. Was 3, one day some of Wenwu's enemies come to his house. But that day Wenwu had gone out somewhere and Yingli and their 2 children were at home. Those people of Iron Gang came here to kill Wenwu, but they were not at home so they think to kill his family. Yingli tries to understand them, they decide to kill her. Now fight starts between Ying Li and Iron Gang, though she was a good fighter but now she didn't have her powers. Because many people of the Iron Gang had come there, so she could not stand in front of them and she was killed. Later, by the time Wenwu reached his home, and began to call his wife. But on seeing Ying Li dead there and seeing the corpses of some of the Iron Gang members, Wenwu understood whose job this was. As a result of this incident, Wenwu loses faith in goodness and puts on his rings again, so that he can take revenge on the people. Then he goes to a bar with Shang-Chi, where the Iron Gang members were present. On the identification of Shang-Chi, Wenwu killed them all with the help of his ring, but the leader of Iron Gang was not present there. That means his revenge was not complete. That's why Wenwu decides that now he will get the leader of the Iron Gang killed by his son. Now Wenwu again starts the Ten Rings organization and starts training his son hard in it. Seeing Shang-Chi's training, his sister, Xialing also wanted to learn fighting, but girls were not allowed to come there. That's why Xialing does her training alone, and she starts learning by seeing everyone from far. On the other hand, the leader of the Iron Gang got to know that Wenwu is going to kill him, so he starts running to save his life. Now the scene shift to the year 2014, where Shang-Chi becomes 14 years old, and also his training was completed and he had become a very dangerous fighter. Wenwu found the leader of the Iron Gang, so he sends Shang-Chi to kill him. After that, Shang-Chi goes to America and kills the leader of the Iron Gang. But after completing this mission, he realizes that he has burnt his mother's values in the fire of revenge. So he feels very sorry and decides to stay away from his father. Then Shang-Chi moves to San Francisco and stays there by changing his name and identity. On the other hand, his sister, Xialing, was doing training and she was waiting for her brother, but Shang-Chi does not come back home, and in this way full 6 years pass. Xialing was now 16 years old and she understood that her brother would not come back. That's why she also runs away from home. After that, she moves to the Chinese city of Macau and opens her own fighting club there. On the other hand, Wenwu had full information about where his children were, and what they were doing. Wenwu could take them home forcefully, but he gave them the opportunity to live their own will. After some time a strange incident happened with Wenwu in 2024. He has suddenly began to hear the voice of his wife, and the voice of Ying Li tells him that she is still alive and the people of Talo have kept him by imprisoning, and the voice of Ying Li was calling him for help. By listening to all this, Wenwu assumes that Talo's people have imprisoned to punish Ying Li, because she went against Talo's rules. Taking the truth of that voice, Wenwu decided to liberate Ying Li, but crossing that magical forest was very tough and was very hard to penetrate into Talo. Therefore Wenwu finds the easiest way to penetrate Talo, but this would have been possible only if the magical locket of his wife, which was brought from Talo, would have been with him, because Talo's way came out by applying a dragon's idol. Wenwu needed that locket to enter Talo, but the locket was in his children and his children ran away from home. Wenwu wanted not only to get those lockets but also to bring the children back home, so that the whole family could be united, when his wife returned. So Wenwu sends a postcard in the name of Xialing and he writes in that card that Xialing is calling him to meet in Macau, so that Shang-Chi will also reach Macau and he will go there and bring them both back home. Shang-Chi was completely unaware of all this. It had been 10 years since he left home and he was doing a small job after completing his studies. When he receives a postcard in Xialing's name, he ignores it and in this way a few days pass, means Wenwu's plan had failed. That's why now he sends some of his men to San Francisco to snatch that locket from Shang-Chi. On the other hand, when Shang-Chi was going somewhere by a bus with his friend Katie, he is attacked by the men of 10 Rings. And here a fierce fight ensues between Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings men, but they manage to snatch her locket. Along with this, during the fight, a man had said that they would go to his sister, that is why Shang-Chi thinks of going to Macau, so that he can save his sister, and this was Wenwu's new plan, to bring Shang-Chi to Macau. Then when Shang-Chi starts going to Macau, his friend Katie also goes with him, and then Shang-Chi tells Katie the truth. Then both of them reach Macau and go to Xialing's fight club, and there when Shang-Chi meets his sister. So Xialing gets very angry because he had run away leaving her alone from the house. And before that, at the same time Wang's fight is also shown here. Later, when Shang-Chi asks his sister about the postcard, he came to know that Xialing did not send the card to him. At the same time, many men from the Ten Rings come and attack that club. Shang-Chi and Xialing try to fight them, but in this fight too, they snatch Xialing's locket, and then Wenwu comes in front of them and take back Shang-Chi, Xialing and Katie to his house, and there Wenwu tells them that he can hear Yingli's voice and she is calling him for help. After this, he makes a magical map of Talo using those lockets, and says that only one day in a year opens a special way to go to Talo. Even on a festival day, and festival was only 3 days later. That's why Wenwu had decided that he would go to Talo with his army on that day, and if the people there opposed him, he would kill everyone. Shang-Chi was finding it useless to say that his mother is still alive and in captivity, so he refuses to attack on Talo. This angers Wenwu, and he locks Shang-Chi, Xialing and Katie in the basement. In that basement, they meet Trevor Slattery. Trevor was the same actor who acted to become the leader of the Ten Rings a few years ago, and Wenwu did not like this. So after Trevor was arrested, and the men of the Ten Rings took him to China so that Wenwu could kill him. When he was about to be killed, Trevor won the hearts of the people of the Ten Rings with his acting, so Wenwu gave his life and kept it there for his entertainment. When Shang-Chi, Xialing, and Katie meet him, Trevor tells them about himself and introduces them to Morris. Morris is a magical creature from the Talo that Wenwu picked up a few years ago from the forest of Talo. While living in that basement, both Morris and Trevor became friends. Trevor was beginning to understand his language. When Morris sees Shang-Chi and Xialing, he realizes that they are both Yingli's children, and he starts to miss his home when he sees them. That's why he tells Trevor that he knows a secret way to get into Talo. Meanwhile, Xialing has found a way to escape from the basement, and they all decide to leave and go to Talo, so that they can alert everyone by reaching there before Wenwu. After leaving the basement, they reach outside the magical forest. There Morris tells them the way to escape from the maze of forest, and after that, they cross that forest and reach inside the Talo. There they meet Yingli's sister, Yingnan, who welcomes them. After that Shang-Chi and Xialing tell their aunt that his father feels that their mother is imprisoned in the Talo, that's why he is coming here to attack Talo. Then Yingnan started to tell the truth, which included the entire history of Talo, and she says that thousands of years ago, when the people of Talo were living peacefully, suddenly the portal of the second dimension opened in their world, out of which a demon army came out, and the name of that monster was Dweller in Darkness. He and his companion used to steal the soul of others and fill their stomach. He caused a lot of destruction by entering the Talo and killed many people. After that, Talo was going out towards the earth, and then a magical dragon came out of Talo's river, whose name was the Great Protector. The Soul Taker monster started weakening in front of the power of this Protector dragon. After that, the people of Talo and the Great Protector together sent his entire army back to his dimension, and the Protector dragon made a strong door there with its skin so that the Soul Taker could not come back from there. After this, the Great Protector gave some of his power and his skin to all the people of Talo, so that they could make their own weapons and protect that dark door. Since then, till today, the people of Talo are protecting that door and preparing for the war. If ever that monster comes out, he can defeat him. That Dweller in Darkness himself could not break that door, so he started calling others to get out. For centuries, he tried to break that door by giving false greed to many powerful people. But whoever came under his delusion was defeated by the people there. Then in 2024, the attention of that monster went to Wenwu. He understood that Wenwu could free him from the power of the 10 rings. So he started to call Wenwu in Yingli's voice, and because Wenwu loved his wife so much, he lost his senses after hearing that voice and decided to break the door by going to Talo. After listening to Ying Nan's story, Shang-Chi and Xialing understood that the world would be destroyed if their father was not stopped. That's why he started preparing himself to stop his father, and then Ying Nan gives them dragon skin armor and weapons and teaches them new ways of fighting. Along with this, Katie also learns to shoot arrows there. Then 3 days later, when the way to Talo opens on that festival day, Wenwu comes there with his army. The people of Talo try to convince him that his wife was not imprisoned behind that door, but he didn't listen to anyone and orders his army to take fight with Talo's army, and he himself goes out to break that door. After that, a fierce fight ensues between Talo and the people of the 10 rings. On the other side, Shang-Chi goes to stop his father. Though Shang-Chi now had new armor and weapons, he was still fighting with their old technique, so he stays in front of Wenwu for a while and in the end, he loses. And then Wenwu throws him into the river with the power of the rings, and on reaching to Dark Door, he starts to break that door using those rings. That door was very big and very strong, that is why it does not break easily, but some cracks come in it. Many soul takers come out of those cracks, but Wenwu ignores that and keeps on attacking that door with all his might. On the other hand, those soul eaters attack Talo. After killing many people, they take his soul inside that door, so that the strength of his master increases and he can get out of there. Seeing this, the people of the 10 rings stop their fight and start dealing with this new problem. Those monsters can only be killed with Talo's weapon, that's why the people of the 10 rings fight with the people of Talo. On the other hand, Shang-Chi was drowning in that river and he was about to die. Then the Great Protector comes out in that river and saves Shang-Chi. Then he starts killing those monsters together with the dragon sub. At the same time, Shang-Chi goes to stop his father. This time, Shang-Chi fights with the new technique, in the same manner as his mother used to fight. With this, he not only gives a good fight to Wenwu but also takes control of his 5 rings, and then both the father and son fight with each other using the 5 rings, but in the end, Shang-Chi manages to control the entire 10 rings. He is about to kill Wenwu but he stops for love's sake and returns the rings to his father. He again explains to his father that he should not break that door, but by then it was too late. Now that door had become very weak. Now the dweller in darkness had become a lot of soul power. That's why he breaks the door and came out, and at the same time, Wenwu realizes his mistake. After being released from the dark door, that monster attacks Wenwu and begins to expel Wenwu's soul by holding his back, and at the same time, Wenwu gives his ring to Shang-Chi while dying. After killing Wenwu, the demon begins to move towards Talo, but the great savior surrounds him in the river with his powers, causing the demon to die. Then his companions expel the souls of the people and put it in his mouth, due to which his strength increases and he gets released from the grip of the protector. Then Dweller captures the protector and he starts swallowing his soul, and if he had taken away the soul of the protector dragon, it would have been impossible to defeat him. Then Katie shoots an arrow at Dweller's neck from afar, due to which the protector becomes free, and he again imprisons the Dweller in the water, and at the same time, Shang-Chi puts his ring in that monster's stomach, and with a full charge of the rings, Shang-Chi tears the stomach of demons, causing these demons break into many pieces, and finally, he dies. After all this, Talo and the people of the 10 rings together pay tribute to all those who lost their lives in the war. Then Shang-Chi and Katie go back to America. They both sit in a hotel and tell about that incident to his friend, but they do not believe it. Then the magician Wong comes there, and he takes both of them and goes away to Kamar Taj. In the mid-credits scene of the movie, we see Wong, Shang-Chi, and Katie in Kamar Taj, where Captain Marvel and Professor Hulk were present. He tells everyone that, when Shang-Chi used those rings for the first time, a different kind of energy emanated from him, and that energy was felt in Kamar Taj. On scanning those rings, it was found that they are several thousand years old, and there is no information about those rings anywhere. Because now those powerful rings were with Shang-Chi, that's why Wong and Bruce Banner make him a part of their team. In the post-credit scene of the movie, we see Xialing, who had gone to China and told her brother that she was going to shut down the Ten Rings organization, but now she herself became the main leader of that organization and started training too. She was carrying forward her father's work in a new way. Thank you, and if you like our explanation then please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.